Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
The SEC may be sued again by another crypto company, this time a hedge fund, interestingly enough, and Attorney John Deaton says it's about time. I'll share with you his specific comment. Also, there are new SEC regulations that have been proposed for crypto, and let's just say that they're a bit vague. In fact, they're so vague that despite the length of the proposed regulation, which is tremendous, I'll share with you in just a moment, despite that, it doesn't add clarity for the crypto space. Plain and simple. Also, there's a new use case for XRP highlighted by Attorney John Deaton I wanted to share with you. And also, Attorney John Deaton brought up the point that people who say XRP is a security, they won't explain how the Howey test applies to it. And so there was a few thoughts I want to share with you, and I jumped in and had a very short, was part of a very short thread with that as well. And also, just for fun at the end, I'm gonna briefly run through this article. Here's the headline from you today. Arby's wants to offer virtual food in metaverse. Folks, no one wants Arby's in real life. So, like, who the hell does Arby's think will buy their fake food in the metaverse? Like, just when I think I'm starting to get a grasp of crypto and start to understand a bit of the metaverse, Arby's comes along and makes me question everything. Now, I do want to be clear at the outset, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby, and just for fun, damn it. So here's the headline from Decrypt. Grayscale considers flipping the script and suing SEC over Bitcoin ETF. And actually, before I share with you the specifics, I'm going to share with you Attorney John Deaton's comment and how he felt about this. He wrote the following. With all due respect, guys, it's about time. Sometimes the best move is to stop waiting and go on the offensive. The SEC cannot justify its arbitrary and capricious decisions. You will win. I gotta tell you, I agree with that. And I've been saying this, it's true of Coinbase too. Coinbase, they just capitulated, basically. Remember their Lend product, where they were going to offer interest-bearing accounts to their customers, and then they sent the proposal over to the SEC, and the SEC said, yeah, if you do this, we're going to sue you. We're going to sue you into oblivion. Yeah, you won't exist anymore. That's effectively what they said. Just going to sue. Then there was no path forward, and they wouldn't tell Coinbase what they were doing wrong. So there was no path forward there, and so Coinbase just gave up. Like, the SEC, they're acting like thugs here. Like, I understand that it takes risk, but those that have the fortitude and the war chest necessary to make it happen, like, they're the ones that are going to have the riches in the end. But to take it laying down like this is not ideal, which is why I'm so impressed by companies like Ripple, obviously, who's really bringing the fight to them. I'm impressed by exchanges like Uphold, who, although of course they're not being sued, certainly not now, they're refusing to take this line down. They're like, no, XRP is not a security. They're basically saying, if you want us to stop selling XRP, you better prove that it's a security in the court of law. And so I appreciate this, and now I appreciate Grayscale, which is saying effectively, it's possible. So take a look. It's into the article, not from Decrypt. Crypto investment firm Grayscale has been working for the better part of a year to convert its Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which has over $28.5 billion in assets under management, into a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, or ETF. Let's pause here to note. An ETF, exchange-traded fund, it's a fund that can be traded on traditional stock exchanges like New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. And this fund, the theory is that it's supposed to move in line with Bitcoin, and it doesn't always, but in a general sense, it's going to be more or less in line. That's typically what you expect from an ETF. So when you purchase the ETF, you're not actually purchasing Bitcoin, but Grayscale, which is would be in this case, if approved, the one running the Bitcoin ETF, it would be backed by actual Bitcoin, so they'd be actually holding it, which is good because that impacts the actual supply of Bitcoin. So if more's got to be held and more people are purchasing, even just the ETF and then that makes grayscale purchase more. Of course, it's supply and demand. Supply and demand economics 101. Like that's what it is. So that's good. I'd love to see more of this. There's a finite amount of Bitcoin. And yeah, let's get more of that locked up because more people are getting in. And you could say, well, okay, why aren't these people just buying Bitcoin straight up then? Well, not everybody's comfortable, let's say, jumping onto Coinbase or pick your cryptocurrency exchange, delving in that way. But if there's just this new option to purchase and it's on platforms they're already familiar with, it stands to reason that some people would put a certain amount of money in. And they don't have to do anything new, it's just a new option and they start purchasing. So although I would rather hold physical Bitcoin or XRP or whatever it is, not everybody feels that way. And so give people the options. There will be a lot of money just pouring into it. I do believe that. But so anyway, it's basically just a representation of Bitcoin. It's not Bitcoin itself. And mind you also, and this is part of what makes it more ridiculous. You may recall, I can't remember, when was it? Was it October of last year? It was probably somewhere around then. The SEC, maybe it was November, I can't remember. The SEC did approve a futures Bitcoin ETF, but not Bitcoin itself. So that doesn't involve the actual purchase. And so this is ridiculous to me, though, because the reason that they don't want to have a Bitcoin ETF is because they're claiming that there's too much manipulation, there's too much uncertainty. And I'm sitting here thinking, damn, bitch, that's a straight up freaking lie. Because when you approved a futures Bitcoin ETF, you think that's not going to track along with the price of Bitcoin? I just don't buy this. I frankly just don't get it. I don't know what the real reason is. I don't buy that ridiculous argument, though. Anyway, piece continues. Standing in its way, however, is the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which has yet to approve any crypto spot ETF for American investors. With the agency to set a decision by July 6th, CEO Michael Sonnenschein would consider suing the agency if the application is rejected. He told Bloomberg in response to a question about a potential lawsuit, quote, "I think all options are on the table," end quote. Golf clap for Michael there. I would love to, if he doesn't get approved, I would love to see that. There is no excuse for there to not be a Bitcoin ETF at this stage in the game. Bitcoin's been around 13 years. It's close to $1 trillion market cap at the time that I'm recording this, and it has been over $1 trillion market cap. It's clearly here to stay. Certainly the asset class is. I'd say it's more clear the asset class is here to stay. But still, there's no certainty of anything in life. It's time to approve this. No more excuses here. And then there was this. There's this comments from attorney Jake Chervinsky, well-known lawyer in the world of crypto, talking about more nonsense from the SEC. So look, it's not just us here in the XRP community that have to deal with the SEC. Yes, currently we've got the brunt of it, along with Library, obviously, and I've been covering that case as well on this channel. But everybody's going to feel the pain of SEC Supreme Leader and dictator Kim Jong-Ginsler. Here's what Jake had to say, though. The SEC just proposed a rule that would expand the definition of regulated dealers to include people who, quote, employ passive market-making strategies, end quote, that have, quote, the effect of providing liquidity, end quote, to others. It's 200 pages, but doesn't say DeFi, decentralized finance, even once. This comes shortly after the SEC proposed a different rule that would expand the definition of regulated, quote, alternative trading systems, end quote, to include operators of, quote, communication protocol systems, end quote. That rule was 600 pages, but didn't say DeFi even once either. So pause. The way that this is worded, pretty damn clear that what they're getting at is decentralized finance, right? So they just don't want to be specific, do they? Now, why might that be? Well, attorney John Deet knows why. I'm going to share with you the reason he thinks this is the case in just a moment, but there's a little bit more from Jake first. He also said, unfortunately, the SEC continues to introduce massive confusion and uncertainty into the very same markets it seeks to regulate. In a healthy rulemaking process, we wouldn't have to guess at the SEC's intent or its underlying goals. This is far from a healthy rulemaking process. Yeah, ain't that the damn truth? And so here's what attorney John Deaton had to say about that. The SEC intentionally causes a confusing and vague regulatory environment. It does so in order to provide the SEC maximum prosecutorial optionality. And there's a reason he wrote that in all caps, by the way. Maximum prosecutorial optionality. By keeping things vague, and if you're an entrepreneur, you're like, well, what does this mean? What does that mean? Well, you can't get clarity from the SEC. But since it's so broad, these regulations, if you even want to use that term loosely, since they're so broad, you can just sue anyone for anything. That's the strategy. And then John Deaton said, Jeremy Kauffman of Library is 100% on point when he says they fear providing a clear framework entrepreneurs can meet. It's sick. Absolutely, that's true. Now take a look at this. Here's a tweet from attorney John Deaton. Who knew you could pay rent with a security? Below is another use case of XRP being utilized as a substitute for fiat currency. Pursuant to paragraph 26 of the lease, the landlord is to be paid in XRP. And so indeed, this is a contract with the landlord, and the relevant portion reads as follows. Monthly rent will be paid in the cryptocurrency XRP. Here is a wallet address and destination tag for Valhill Capital. Now that sounds familiar. That's because Valhill Capital, who I believe it's Jimmy Valley, who actually runs, he might be the CEO, I'm not sure, but I don't recall his exact position, but he's the one that's very well known in the XRP community for suggesting that it's quite probable that XRP would be worth over $35,000. I actually made a video just the other day, coincidentally, where I really challenged strongly the rationale for why he believes what he believes. That's okay, but thoughtful minds, adults can respectfully disagree. I just don't think it's particularly reasonable to have that, and I articulated at great length why. It's like a 35-minute video. But that's neither here nor there. It's not the purpose of this video. I just think it's interesting to see, people are going to increasingly want this type of thing in the future with XRP and other cryptocurrencies. So when was the last time you could do this with a security? That's the question. The answer is never, by the way. That's just spoiler alert. Sorry, that's never. Now check out this. From attorney John Deaton. Have you noticed that the people that call XRP a security offer no analysis? They simply say XRP is a security. When you ask them to explain how it's a security under Howey, they don't offer an analysis, only conclusions. Even the SEC's complaint is 100% conclusory. And folks, I don't know if you'd never stop to think about it in such terms. If you go back to the original legal complaint from December 22nd of 2020, they make all sorts of accusations, but they never explain in the however long, I can't remember if it's like 70 or 90 pages, whatever the damn thing was, it is long. Not at any point in that initial legal filing against Ripple, not once did they explain why XRP satisfies the Howey test, meaning that, because if it satisfies Howey, that means it is a security. So they don't ever explain that. In all the pages, not once. XRP community member Frecky responded to that and wrote, yes, remember the general public unfortunately follow the blind and are uninformed. They also don't want to take time to do their own research. Echo chamber of regurgitated garbage. Yes, this is absolutely true. And by the way, thank you for tagging me there, Frecky. I do appreciate it. And so I responded with the following. I wrote, absolutely true. I've also noticed it's very hard to find attorneys outside of the SEC that argue XRP is a security today. The only ones I've found are at Anderson Kill Law Firm, and they coincidentally happen to not like Ripple and XRP. One of them actively trolls us, go figure. By the way, I actually highlighted some specific tweets from one of those attorneys dating back over the last couple years or so, just trolling the XRP community, and then when people would respond to her, she'd say, look at this, oh my god, the XRP community, they're so toxic. I'm like, damn, woman, you are absolutely pushing the buttons of the XRP community, proactively trolling and attacking the XRP community. It's ridiculous. And so these are the only attorneys that I'm aware of outside of and I do mean this, they're the only attorneys outside the SEC I've ever seen argue that XRP today is a security. Not just in the past, but today is in a security. I haven't found any others. There should be some out there statistically. Even if it's like less than 1% of lawyers that would think this makes sense, there has to be more. There's a lot of humans out there. I haven't found them though. So attorney John Deaton responded to my tweet there, and he wrote, "I really want to read Hedman's full and unredacted deposition and find out what he said was the basis of his knowledge and understanding that Ether's decentralized structure caused it to no longer be a security. What was his understanding and who provided him that knowledge?" Yes, I'd love to know, because if you go back to his speech too, it's just another instance where, okay, there's all these claims made by Billy Boy Hedman given the Ethereum free pass speech, but he never explains what it means to be sufficiently decentralized. He just thinks it. Because reasons, folks, because reasons. Now let's get to the real reason that you're in this video. This headline from you today: Arby's wants to offer virtual food in metaverse. Someone please, in the comment section below, tell me why Arby's exists. Please tell me why people want to get this tasteless crap food. I mean, I tell you what, if I'm gonna get some fast food, and I don't eat much fast food at all, but if I'm gonna, I mean, I better be drunk and it better be like Taco Bell or something. Okay, fine, but Arby's, I'm sorry. I appreciate. I don't want businesses to fail. I don't, but having eaten their food, like growing up, sometimes like mom would just get a sack of these allegedly roast beef sandwiches. I don't understand how they're in business. I don't get it. It don't make no damn sense up in this bitch, as far as I'm concerned. This cannot just be me. Is it a front for some other nefarious business? Is it like a money laundering company? Because like ain't nobody in their damn restaurants ever. There's nobody in the drive-thru. I don't even understand how it's a thing. It just doesn't make any sense. But here's the story. Arby's, an Atlanta, Georgia headquartered fast food sandwich restaurant chain, has filed trademarks with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO for short, in order to become part of the metaverse. Let me just pause here, actually. Do you think that I just blew my shots of having Arby's as a sponsor on the Moon Lambo channel? Can I mend that? Can I mend that relationship? Right, peace continues. Its filings indicate that it plans to offer virtual food and beverage products. The company also intends to operate a virtual restaurant that will feature both virtual and actual goods. The virtual restaurant will also feature home delivery. Ooh, that sounds fantastic. According to one of the trademark's applications. I don't even know what the hell that means. So, like, you have a home in the metaverse and then it's delivered? Is there gonna be like a Uber delivery of this? How does this work? Oh my god, I kind of hate the metaverse. Maybe when it's actually like really up and running and fully adopted, and okay, maybe I'll think it's awesome. But with current technology, it just sounds annoying to even try and use. Have you used today's VR technology? I mean, it's impressive. Don't get me wrong. Like the first time you step in, it's like whoa, because there's actual depth perception. It's kind of mind blowing. But damn. Like the bulkiness of the hardware and this and that. I mean, it's going to have to advance substantially if people are actually going to really delve in this world.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.